This is my review of the Metzler MC360. This is the front and rear tire that I've had on the 690 for 650 miles now. The longest I've run a tire on this bike was 700, and that was the Moto's Mountain Hybrid. And it was literally bald for about 400 or 550 miles of those. It was completely bald pretty much. So this tire is about 50% lug still, and they actually hold square pretty good. See if I can get that camera to focus. So this is a lot of road miles, but it's also some good dirt miles, and I've actually run some pretty rocky terrain in this, and it is amazingly good still. There's a few little chunks out of the knobs here and there, but out of the 4 tires I've run on this bike now, this is by far the best. It's also the most aggressive. If you are an on-road rider mostly, I actually don't recommend it for you. It howls like crazy, and the braking performance is terrible because you can see the spacing in these lugs. But if you're a guy that does most of his riding off-road, or you don't care about the on-road performance of the tire, it's awesome. So you can still see these are fairly aggressive lugs. This tire has quite a bit of life left. The only reason I'm taking them off of the 690 is because my 350 is on the way to the island pretty soon, and I actually want to save these tires to put them on my 350 EXE, because when it gets here it's not going to have DOT legal tires, and I have to have it inspected, and the state will fail the DOT inspection if it has off-road tires on it. So these are DOT legal. You can look at the front here. See if I can get a side profile. The knobs are wearing at a little bit of an angle like they do on these bikes when you run them on the road. I would still say that there's probably, once again, maybe like 70% lug left on these, and the edges are still pretty square. So these are mid-hard tires, and I air them down pretty good off-road. I've been doing about 8 psi, and I don't know, they seem to hook up pretty good. I don't know if they're the most awesome tires in the world. I'm pretty much a Dunlop fan, but they work really well. And right now it's just, for me, it's durability, keeping knobs on the tires, because if you've ridden these 690s in anything rocky or hard terrain, you know that they just obliterate tires. I mean, so this is I think this tire has 5 or 6 off-road rides on it now, and no joke, I'm not exaggerating, I have not had a tire last more than 1 ride. I've ridden them more than one ride, but most of the tires, the other 3 tires that I've put on this bike, the knobs have all blown off in the first ride, and then I just couldn't afford a new tire to go on my next ride, so I just basically rode them bald. So I'm super impressed with this tire. Thank you, Metzler, for making a tire that will hold up to these big bikes in rocky terrain, and I'm looking forward to trying it on my 350 and seeing how much it holds up there. And I'm just gonna run them down. So just for comparison's sake, here is the 2 other tires that are completely dead. I'm actually remounting the Kenda Big Block. I'm gonna be riding on the street, so I won't throw it in the test here, but because it doesn't really need any knobs for the street. But here is the original MT21. You can see it is completely roasted, all ripped off. This is the current MC360, and this is the Moto's Mountain Hybrid. If you're in terrain that's not really rocky, I'm actually still a fan of this tire. It just doesn't hold up in my conditions. In fairness to the Motos, I probably should be running the Desert Tractionator, but I didn't have access to that tire, so I put this Mountain Hybrid on, and I mean, I guess you could say that it has some lug left, but it really wasn't hooking up at all. The spacing was a little too close for how short the knobs are. I don't know, maybe it'd hook up on some flat rock, and the knobs were, after it got to this point, the knobs were too soft and too tall that it didn't really corner very well on the street. I would actually say that this one handled better on the street after this one got to this point where the knobs in the center were all gone. And this thing, okay, so this tire literally almost looked like this after 30 miles in the terrain here. I did like a 35-mile ride with my friend, and it pretty much turned out like this. And then this one was basically, most of this damage was done in about the same. I think it was a 35 or 40-mile ride in some rocky stuff here. So you can see some of these knobs were basically ripped off, and then riding it on the road smoothed them back out. But there's literally almost no chunking in this Metzler at all. Even the sides and stuff, there's almost nothing in there. So awesome tire. So there you have it, Metzler MC360 Mid Hards, and you can probably order them from your local dealer. I'll drop links down to Amazon down below where you can actually get them pretty cheaply. They're even retail price. I think the front is like $102 and the rear is $107, so they are extremely reasonably priced. Basically the best on the market, especially for what you get. So highly recommend these tires. Check them out. Once again, they are, I would say, on the 80-20 or 90-10 side of the off-road to road. And so if that's something that you're impressed with, then get them. And even if you want to put them on a full-fledged dirt bike, I'll vouch for them on a full-fledged dirt bike. They're legit and they hold up well. So anyway, thanks you guys for watching. If you want more reviews like this, let me know. Have you tried these tires? Put some comments down below, and let me know what you've tried, and if you've tried something that was that held up really well. I'm still looking for other tires that could potentially be better in different types of terrains and still hold up well under the 690s horsepower. So thanks again for watching. Hang loose from Hawaii. See ya.